Hello Aries, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? As always, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall energy for the reading and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second. I have the tarot deck that we'll be using already shuffled, as well as the decks that I will be using in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So please do remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Aries, in your recent past, you have the Sun in reverse with emotions are running high. In your recent past, there's a pretty intense lack of fulfillment, lack of joy, lack of light. So maybe some darker kind of energy that you were dealing with. Definitely a very emotional energy with the emotions are running high. And I feel like this energy, it either has been affecting you for a long time or it's affecting you in a very profound way. Like this, whatever this energy is a very, it's not just like something to just pass by or something that you were able to just kind of pass through. Like this is an energy that definitely has a transformative aspect to it, because in your current energy you have adjustments are required with the Eight of Swords in reverse. Now this Eight of Swords in reverse is my favorite card in tarot, and it speaks of releasing yourself from the limiting beliefs that hold you in a limited reality, whether that's beliefs about what you can experience, what you're capable of experiencing, what you're deserving of experiencing. It keeps you stuck. These limiting beliefs, when you have the Eight of Swords upright, it keeps you stuck in experiencing a reality limited to what you believe. And so being able to break out of those limiting beliefs is where you actually start to experience a more unlimited reality for yourself. And then when you look at your immediate future, you have look at the bigger picture with the Hanged Man. So to me, this energy is about surrendering to the bigger possibility. So many of us have a tendency to limit what we think is possible for ourselves based on what we've experienced. So we'll either say, this is how things have always gone for me, or I've never experienced anything more than this, which means this must be as good as it gets for me, or this must be all that's possible for me. And then we have a tendency to take that experience and start to believe it on a deep level to the extent that we then kind of start to create it. In a way. So what this immediate future is about surrendering to the potential that you are capable of experiencing more. And I feel like that comes with being able to believe that it's not just possible, but that you are also supported on that path, because the overall theme for the reading is support. When you feel like it's up to you and you only, and you don't have the universe's support, then it's really easy to get stuck in believing in that limited reality. But when you start to realize that there is more that is possible for you, more that you are capable of, more that you are deserving of experiencing, and not just that, but that you are also supported in these things, then you actually start to experience that reality more so than the limited one that you've kind of been trapped in. So let's start, Aries, by looking at your recent past. You have emotions are running high with the Sun in reverse. Recent past for Aries, emotions are running high with the Sun in reverse. Okay, recent past for Aries here. It's a very frustrating energy that I feel like you were in. Not that your energy is frustrating, like you were dealing with a frustrating energy. Recent past for Aries. Recent past for Aries. I want it to turn all the way around or hit the table like that. Oh, that was the same card. Empress in reverse. And then the King of Cups in reverse. Queen of Cups in reverse. And the Death. I mean, this is a freaking emotional energy. I feel like your emotions were just all over the place. Like fear, maybe regret, doubt, stress, anxiety, like just it's like all the negative stuff that you could feel, I feel like you were experiencing in your recent past. Now, this Empress in reverse energy is an energy of sacrificing your needs and your desires for the sake of something. Because with the Death card here, there's some sort of cycle that is needing to be closed. It is needing to come to an end. But the cycle, I feel like, has been repeating potentially for like not just your lifetime, but when you talk about like breaking generational curses and things like that, like this has been a cycle that has repeated for you in like past lifetimes and is just kind of a part of this kind of generational aspect of healing. Now, with the Empress in reverse and the King of Cups in reverse with the Queen of Cups in reverse, both of these energies to me kind of speaking the same thing, is it just feels like there is a part of you that has believed for a very long time, potentially for a lifetime, that in order for you to be safe or to be loved or to be supported or whatever the case is, that you have to sacrifice a part of you to make that happen. You have to sacrifice your needs. You have to give more than you receive. You have to sacrifice your mental or emotional well-being or whatever the case for the sake of that, whatever that stability means to you. And that cycle has gotten you stuck in experiencing feeling undervalued, feeling, not loved to the extent that you're deserving of, feeling not maybe compensated enough for the work that you do, whatever the case might be, essentially undervalued in a lot of different ways. And I feel like that is a lot about what you're trying to break out of here, is understanding that you are deserving of the abundance that you desire in all forms, and love, your material abundance, peace of mind. You are deserving of that life for who you are right now in this moment. It's not for how much you give. It's not for how much you sacrifice. It's not for how much you suffer. You are deserving of the things that you desire for who you are. And it's important to remember that, so that when you're investing in situations that are constantly taking and not reciprocating, that you're able to recognize that and say, wait, no, this is a cycle and I deserve more than this. Recent past for Aries. Recent past for Aries. There's the Devil. Okay. There's a little bit of perfectionism here that you've been dealing with. Now, like the Eight of Pentacles in reverse is, to me, this energy of putting so much pressure on yourself. Like feeling like you have to be perfect, or like you can't make mistakes, or like you have to, I don't know, like it's all up to you, or I don't know exactly. Just putting a lot of pressure on yourself to be perfect, to be, to make no mistakes. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. And then with this Devil, that's where I feel like it's almost like when we've experienced survival mode for so long, like having to sacrifice our emotional, mental well-being for the sake of stability, when we experience that survival mode for so long, we start to not just believe that that's all that's possible for us, but also kind of get attached to that level of experience, because we start to think that, our ego really likes what it can control and what it can predict. And when your ego knows it can survive painful cycles, on some level it starts to prefer it, because it says, I know I'm going to be okay. I know what this is going to feel like, and I know I can survive it. Even if it's painful, even if it's, not necessarily what you deserve, it's predictable. And your ego loves that predictability. And I feel like that is a kind of a part of why this cycle is repeated so much in your life, is because it's almost like you've gotten really good, Aries, at sacrificing and surviving. Like you're really, really great at those things. What I don't feel like you're very good at is receiving. Not in the sense that, like, almost like you feel like you don't deserve it, or you feel like you haven't done enough for it, or you're not enough for it. Like imposter syndrome kind of in a way, but applying to like all areas of your life. That's what this feels like. And it's like you put this pressure on yourself and you say, if I'm not sacrificing or burning myself out or giving all of myself to a situation, well, then I'm not worthy of whatever it provides me. And that's not true, right? You are deserving of abundance for who you are, nothing more, nothing less. Recent past for Aries. Recent past for Aries, please. There you are. There is so much. Oh, okay, hang on. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. There's the Sun in reverse. And the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. Doesn't really change the message. It certainly adds to it, though. There is so much you don't know about what is possible for you. And not just because it's the King of Wands, too. So to me, it's not just what's possible for you, but like what you are capable of. There's so much that you don't know. To the extent that I feel like you have been, maybe on a subconscious level, could be a little bit conscious, selling yourself short when it comes to the reality that you live in. Now, I don't feel like that's something you're intentionally doing. You know, no one goes out into their life and is like, I am going to choose less than what I deserve. No one does that, right? There's a reason for that. And, you know, our trauma becomes an aspect of that, and our, you know, our what we've learned about our reality, how we've internalized our experiences, it contributes to that. But I do feel like there's this need to break out of some, like, it's not just limitations that you've placed on yourself necessarily, but limitations that you've placed on what is possible for you, what you're capable of. Which I guess could be the same thing, but it's not just like you've limited yourself. It's like you've limited yourself because of what you think is possible and you're capable of. So that is why I feel like you've had a tendency to accept so much less than what it is that you're deserving of, is because there's a part of you that just does not believe that more is possible or that you're capable of getting there. Which is why you have to look at the bigger picture, right? Kind of zooming out that perspective. And then this is just adding on to me this is adding on to it for me, talking about how, you know, this is lack of reciprocation. And this Sun in reverse kind of energy, this is very much what you're used to. Lacking joy, lacking fulfillment, lacking reciprocation, receiving, you know, used to receiving bare minimum. Not just necessarily in one area of your life. It could be in your relationships. It could be in your career, your financial situation, but it could also apply across the board. And this is what has to be broken out of, because this cycle has kept you stuck in a very limited reality. Which is a good thing, you know, because that means that there is so much more that's possible for you. And we have to learn, you know, a lot of people will be like, oh, I wasted so much time in that relationship, or I wasted so much time in that career. We have to learn what doesn't work for us and what we don't want, and what, you know, and that we do deserve more in order to experience it. So it's not like you've wasted your time on the wrong things, or that you've made the wrong decisions or anything like that. Life is a learning process, right? And we have to go through the negative to get to the positive. And I feel like that's kind of what you've been going through, is almost like, it just kind of feels like this is this realization of you being like, I deserve more than this. So what do I need to do to make that happen? All right, let's shift gears. Current energy for Aries. Adjustments are required with the 8 of Swords in reverse. Current energy for Aries, please. Current energy for Aries, please. There you are. King of Wands. Queen of Wands. So whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. Oh, interesting message. Okay. So we all have divine masculine and divine feminine energies, right? We all have feminine and masculine energies within us. Our feminine energy is going to be where we see our value, where we see our worth, our ability to know what it is that we're deserving of, and our ability to receive. You know, kind of the more feminine qualities that you think of, intuition, you know, things of that nature. Our masculine energy, and this is a very, very, very short and summarized version of these energies. So if you're interested in these, I highly recommend doing your own research. But the masculine side of you is going to be what you pursue, what your, you know, how determined you are, your intellect, as opposed to your, you know, your intuition, and kind of the more like what you put out. Think of like kind of masculine being like what you put out, feminine kind of being like what you get back. I mean, they both kind of put out certain energy. Anyway, shortened version. What this message is talking about is getting your masculine and your feminine energies to kind of communicate with each other, to not only be focused, it's like aligning what you want to pursue, what you want to give energy to, with what you want to receive. So being willing to align those two. Oftentimes we'll sacrifice what we want to pursue for what we want to receive. Or we'll sacrifice what we want to receive for what we want to pursue. So meaning, you know, we'll pursue a job that we don't like, that we don't enjoy, that brings us, you know, stress and anxiety as opposed to fulfillment for the sake of a paycheck, for what we want to receive. Or we'll pursue, you know, we'll stay in a relationship, we'll pursue a relationship that doesn't really fulfill us for the sake of receiving love, even if it's bare minimum. Or we'll sacrifice even receiving the love that we deserve for the sake of pursuing a specific relationship. I mean, it could go either way. So this is about finding this balance and this connection between those two energies, what you want to pursue and what you want to receive. A lot of people assume that you can only have one, that like if you pursue work that you very much enjoy, then you're sacrificing income. Or if you pursue a healthy relationship, then you sacrifice connection, or whatever the case might be. But you can have both. It is possible to have both. It's possible to have the balance of both. And this is about getting in touch with both aspects of yourself. Understanding what it is that you want to pursue and then aligning that with what you want to receive in some way, shape, or form. I hope that makes sense, because that was kind of a complicated message, and I feel like when I try to explain divine feminine and masculine energies in like a shortened version, I feel like it can get very confusing. Current energy for Aries. Adjustments are required with the Eight of Swords in reverse. It's literally making sure that you are not rejecting or sacrificing or not prioritizing one for the other. That's what this comes down to. Now, the first thing that I say, you're going to think of when I say that, is all of the reasons why that's not possible. You know, well, if I pursue this passion project, I can't pay the bills. Or if I focus on receiving what I deserve, then I am not going to be able to pursue what I want, or whatever the case is. Those are the limiting beliefs right there. Those are the ways that you have limited yourself, is the belief that you can only have one or the other. Current energy for Aries. Current energy for Aries, please. See, this isn't you. King of Pentacles with Three of Pentacles. So you've been investing in something, maybe even multiple situations, that doesn't really align with you, but you're doing it for the sake of stability. Investing in something for the sake of stability. Investing in a relationship because you feel like if you leave that relationship, you won't, because you guys live together, you won't have a home, or you won't have an income, or you won't have money to support yourself, or whatever the case is. Like, investing in something that doesn't align with you for the sake of stability. And that is what has kept you from experiencing the abundance and the fulfillment that you deserve and desire. That's why adjustments are required. Current energy for Aries. Current energy for Aries, please. It's a lack mindset. Because and this is what it comes down to, and this goes back to what we were talking about in the past. We talked about how you felt like you could only have one or the other, right? You could either pursue what you desire or receive what you desire. There was no both. That's that belief that you have to sacrifice an aspect of yourself for the sake of something. That you feel like you have to sacrifice your mental and emotional well-being for the sake of an income, or that you have to sacrifice your needs and your desires for the sake of a relationship, or whatever the case is. And that's where the limitations lie, is in that mindset and that belief surrounding that mindset. Because to you, if you prioritize one, you lack the other. Right? When in reality, you are supported. In fact, the more that you prioritize your values and the way that you want to feel, the more the universe can support you on the other end of things. Immediate future for Aries, clarifying, look at the bigger picture with the Hanged Man. Because at the end of the day, you have unlimited potential, Aries. I mean, everyone does. Everybody has unlimited potential. And the people who experience abundance versus the people who experience lack, the only difference there one of those people believes in their potential and the other one doesn't. And I'm not sitting here trying to simplify it to that level and say like there's so much more that goes on in it than that, right? Like, some people are born believing in themselves, or are born with certain certain lives that give them benefits that other people don't have, which makes it easier for them to believe in their potential. Like, I'm not sitting here saying like it's your fault and it's black and white like that. But what I am saying is that is a truth. Whether or not someone believes in their potential and their unlimited potential is going to determine whether or not that person is able to create the reality they desire. So trying to heal the reasons why you don't believe in that potential is where your ability to create it lies. Immediate future for Aries, clarifying, look at the bigger picture with the Hanged Man. Immediate future for Aries, clarifying, look at the bigger picture with the Hanged Man. One more. Look at the bigger picture with the Hanged Man for Aries' immediate future. There you are, is the Queen of Wands. Ah, okay. 3 of Swords. 2 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. 3 of Pentacles in reverse, Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I feel, Aries, as if the best way that I can say this is you've had certain experiences. How do I say this the best way? I'm trying to figure out how to say this in a way that isn't going to trigger people and get them to like get mad at me and close out this video, because I want to say it and then I want to elaborate on it. I feel like you have had some experiences throughout your life that have, in a sense, seemingly set you up for failure. You know, whether it is a traumatic childhood or whether it is what you've learned to believe about yourself through what other people have told you about yourself. I don't know. I feel like that it's too specific for me to get into in that sense. But that's why I feel this is such a difficult cycle for you, is because you've experienced the very opposite of abundance. So it's very difficult for you to believe that it exists and that it's possible for you because, well, you've never had it. You've never experienced it. You maybe haven't even seen examples of it through your parents' relationships or your parents' careers or financial situation or whatever the case is. So it's natural for you to think and believe a certain way because it's what you've learned, right? That is why when I talk about creating the life of your dreams and taking responsibility for your current reality, you know, it is not me saying that the reality that you are experiencing and the limiting beliefs associated are your fault. In fact, it's the very opposite of what I'm saying. I'm saying that your trauma and what you have been through in your life and the way that you have internalized your experiences is very much not your fault. You know, the lack mindset and the limiting beliefs and all of that, that is literally just a product of what you have experienced. So it is not your fault that you think and believe the way that you do. However, if you want your life to change, if you want to experience a different reality for yourself, if you want to have more abundance, experience more joy, have more peace of mind, you are the only person who can create that for yourself. No relationship is going to give that to you. No amount of material abundance is going to give that to you. You and yourself only are the only person in creating that existence and life for yourself. And that's why so many of my readings, I want to focus more on what's going on below the surface and not just what you're dealing with, because you have more control over your reality than you think you do. We all do. And being able to understand that control stems from your belief system and what it is you've learned to think and believe about your reality is where your power lies, because it lies in your ability to come from a place of abundance and faith instead of a place of lack and fear, when so much of your life has set you up for lack and fear. That's why it's such a difficult path, and that's why most people don't take it. And so in this reading, and as I kind of, see like the bigger picture of things, look at the bigger picture, right? It's about looking at what is possible outside of the realm of what you've experienced. And that's what your future is about. That's what moving forward is about for you. And understanding that you are supported, the universe is supported, the universe has your back on your path to creating the life that you desire, on your path to creating your abundant life. But it's interesting because in order to receive that support, you have to believe in it. But you have to believe in it in order to receive it. So that's why it's called a leap of faith, right? You take leaps of faith, you realize you're supported on that leap of faith, and then you have a little bit more faith for the next leap of faith. And such is life. All right, immediate future for Aries, please. Look at the bigger picture with the Hangman. Immediate future for Aries, please. Your biggest blockage is your perspective. Your perspective is everything. When you're able to shift your perspective of your reality from a place of this is what I have to experience, this is as good as it gets, this is all that's possible for me, to a place of this is teaching me what I need to know to elevate my experience, your life starts to change. But it all comes down to your perspective. Which is why you have to look at the bigger picture with the Hierophant. I mean, both talking about perspective, wisdom, deeper understanding. it's very difficult to shift your perspective in that sense, because we spend so much of our lives limiting ourselves and getting very, very comfortable in that limited reality, because it's, again, your ego likes that control. And so shifting the perspective comes with facing a lot of really uncomfortable truths, about how you have held yourself back, how you have been, kind of stuck in cycles and things like that. And no, it's never fun to face those things, but if you don't face them, they're going to continue to repeat, right? And you definitely don't want them to repeat. Now, one of the things that I want to kind of mention in this reading is, I speak from this place of shifting limiting beliefs and, shifting perspectives and realizing what's possible for you, because I've been through it. I've been in the limited reality where I was sick all the time. I was struggling with mental health. I only ever had toxic, unhealthy relationships. I was literally could never get myself out of debt. Like, I was in that reality once, and I searched for anything and everything under the sun to get me out of it. But it wasn't until I started shifting my perspective and my belief system that things actually started to change in a sustainable way. And so I'm not sitting here trying to say you've done anything wrong, or that you should be ashamed of what you've done, or that, that's not my point with this reading. My point with this reading is to freaking say I've been there. And, the limited reality that you experience is merely a product of what you think is possible. And so when you start believing that you are capable and deserving of more, you get to start experiencing that. And that's really freaking cool. It's a cool experience. All right, immediate future for Aries, please. Immediate future for Aries, please. Surrender to what's possible. Don't limit to what you've experienced. Immediate future for Aries, please. A lot of readings I've noticed on YouTube, have these big promises of, everything's changing for you. You have only abundance ahead. Your abundance is going to appear at your doorstep tomorrow. The love of your life is going to find you tomorrow. And though I think it's, it can be fun, and I'm not saying there's necessarily anything wrong with those readings, but I do and have experienced in my own personal life that the universe does not just show up at your doorstep with the life that you desire. It doesn't. It's not about luck. It's not about, just like things falling into your lap. You have to actively create the life that you desire. And it's something that it's a tricky balance of learning that it's a co-creation process with the universe. You take steps in the direction of the life that you desire, and then you believe that you're supported by the universe, so the universe can swoop in and do for you what you can't. And it's like this dance with a partner that you trust so much that you're not afraid of the leaps and the jumps and the throwing you in the air and things like that. And so that is what your immediate future is about, is understanding that, first of all, there is a better life, a more abundant, a life that you desire and are deserving of. Second of all, it's not just going to appear. You have to actively create it with your decisions, and your decisions have to be rooted in more unlimited beliefs for yourself. Because when you break down the law of attraction, you have your thoughts become your beliefs, become your actions, become your reality. What you think about your reality, what you tell yourself all of the time, I'm so broke, I'm so fat, I'm so unintelligent, I'm so stupid, those things, the way that you speak to yourself, that becomes what you believe. And what you believe about your reality becomes how you act, and how you act becomes what you experience. So if you want to change your reality, you have to go all the way back to the basics. How do you think? How do you speak? And what do you believe about your reality? Because that will directly affect the way that you move, which will directly affect what you experience. But this is still a very positive reading, because the life that you desire is absolutely possible. You just have to surrender to the bigger picture and to the potential that exists for you, which is hard. It's hard to do when you've experienced so much limiting you for so long. So I definitely understand that. All right, we are going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to dive deeper into these messages, clarify them, and focus more on what you need to do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. So this is what you need to know, and then we're going to focus on what you need to do. Thank you so much, Aries, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Aries, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Aries.